interestingly, that was the first time we'd ever been on an interview where we had earpieces in, and so there was live translation in our ear as we were being interviewed on German television. So we had our first like big major national television appearance in the U.S. on Conan O'Brien, and that was really, really cool. No translation required there because it was all good old American English, and we just got to play our song and do our song and dance and get off. So we found out literally before, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes before. They're like, oh, by the way, you're going to have an earpiece, it's live translation. Have fun! And luckily, the lady who translated for us was really lovely.
She warned us, she's like, this is going to be really weird the first time, but just hang in there. Try and listen to only me in your ear. Don't listen to anything else. So it went well, but the only problem was we did a performance after we did the interview, and we were supposed to leave our earpieces in, but she took hers out, and the lady came up afterwards, and she wasn't supposed to ask us any more questions, but she came, of course she did. She came over, and Rebecca's was out, and mine malfunctioned at that moment when she asked the question.
So she's asking you a question in German, and you're supposed to be
Rebecca, of course, looked at me like, you want to answer? And so I thought she must be talking about touring, so I answered as if she had asked the question about touring. It happened to be right,
so we lucked out.
It was okay.
It was pretty surreal though, because you're looking at this person, and they're speaking at you in German at the same time. Like you're looking at a man. We had a female and a male host on the show, and so the guy is talking at you in German, obviously, and you have this earpiece of a woman's voice speaking to you in English, and so your brain is just kind of like, what?
This is weird.
What? And surprisingly, you adapt within about 10, 15 seconds, and that's what I think floored me. Was like, there was this moment, and people for kicks, they want to watch it, you can go on YouTube, and they ask the first question, they look at us, and it cuts to us, and I go, woo! Like, I have this really big reaction, because it's like, how do we pull this off? And then you pretty quickly fall into the
Did
flow.
she instantly translate it, though, for you?
Amazing.
Amazing woman to be able to just...
Seamless.
Yeah,
Seamless.
it's so fluid.
How did the name come about?
Reskinned?
Mm.
So, it was actually a joke. Our first, like the debut record that we released as Larkin Poe was Kin, which in and of itself was kind of a play on words because K-I-N exists in our band name, Larkin Poe. And so we just highlighted kin, and we thought it was funny because kin is, in the South, it's a word for family, like your kith and kin. Like it's...
Kith and kin?
Yeah, kith and kin.
Oh.
So it's like one of these, we thought it was like, oh, it's kind of clever, and it's in the name. And so kin is also in Reskinned, and since we pulled some tracks off of Kin and then brought in like 5 or 6 new songs, we thought it'd be cool to have yet another play on words. So really we're just trying to do Inception a la record title names. It's like the band name within the record name within the record name.
How did the sound come about? How would you describe the sound of this one?
I think it's roots rock and roll. It's a little bit edgier, but it still has a lot of the roots elements in it. Especially the songs that came in from Kin. A lot of those have a little bit more rootsy elements because they were we released that record a couple of years ago. So yeah, roots rock and roll.
Yeah, roots rock and roll. Nice. And your new track is Blunt.
Blunt, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's about the development of humans. Was there deeper meaning?
Absolutely. You know, it's always an interesting one to talk about, this song Blunt, because it really means a lot to us. I think it's more or less a cautionary tale about cynicism, about, I think, the potential danger of allowing yourself to engage too much cynicism in your life as a person. I think, as a general rule, I find myself very drawn towards being a little bit too cool for school. Or maybe it's a general rule for people in general. You want to, it's like, well, I've been there, done that, I've seen that, like, why do I even bother sometimes? It's like, for us, when we played a show, and you're playing to a small crowd, you're just like, oh, does anybody even ever really care? Like, this sort of a negative energy that I think people can abuse sometimes. And of course, you have to be realistic about your situation, but being realistic doesn't mean you have to be cynical. You can look at life from a positive view. So I think for us...
And even our situation as a human race, it's easy to be cynical, especially when headlines, they like to take the worst story and
sensationalize.
And sensationalize. So it's really easy to be cynical when looking at what's going on in the world.
Thinking about the future of humanity. It's
yeah,
true.
We don't tend to, in the world, focus on the light.
No puppies
We
and
focus on
rainbows. It's about
the dark.
the mass shootings and the stock market crashing and I think it's true. And you have to keep a real grasp on where the world stands and where you stand in the world. But also, it's I think a choice of focusing your eyes on the shadow or on the light. And so that's kind of what Blunt is trying to address in a very 25-year-old way.
All right, so quick fire round.
All right.
Biggest fears?
Snakes.
Snakes.
Snakes, really?
It's a good one.
Screw you.
Failure.
Failure, really? Your worst habit? Oh no, you answer. Worst habit.
Worst habit? Biting her nails.
It's really gross. I have a horrible habit of biting my nails. They're hideous.
Okay.
I think your worst habit is, ooh, this is dangerous. This is dangerous territory. Wow, that's hard.
She's
I would
got
say
so
you can
many.
be pretty cutting sometimes. She's very good at finding the heart of, like,
Dry
the issue.
humor them.
That's true.
And, like, just nail it. And, like, she finds that little weak spot, she's like, real, and she'll do it real sweet, too. That was a bad habit on you, because you're too good at it. All right, next.
Quite English with your humour then.
Oh, very.
Favourite foods on tour?
Cashews, raspberries.
Popcorn.
Best British accent?
Between the two of us?
You both got to give it a go.
Oh, darling. Just have some tea and cakes, please.
All right, crack out a bottle of Bollinger.
A bottle of Bollinger. It's pretty miserable.
Where were your inspirations for these accents?
Mine was one of the truck drivers on Elvis
Elvis's
Costello's tour.
And I was actually thinking that the wife of a good friend of ours who's engineered some records for us. But they're not very good. We don't claim to have good British accents.
Okay. No. They were better than a lot, I tell you.
Really?
Yeah. Craziest place you want to go in the world and why?
I'd love to go to Antarctica just to see something incredibly different. I would love. I think touring like in the UK, it's relatively similar to home, and I'd love to see something completely foreign.
I would like to go to Tibet. I would love to see Tibet, and I would like to see Mount Everest. I wouldn't want to climb Mount Everest, but I would love to see it. Maybe really beautiful.
That takes about 3 months.
Right?
No, it does.
Relatively serious undertaking.
Okay. Marmite lover or hater?
Hater.
Hater. I do not dig. Do not dig the Marmite.
And on that note, that's the end of the interview. I can't go on.
Right.
No, I'm a lover.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Right.
It's great with everything.
I can see it, but I just can't quite get behind it.
Yeah,
I'm like
understand
close
it in
to
theory.
loving it, but I sway too
Do you see how
heavily.
polite we're trying to be about hating Marmite?
No,
we're like,
it's
so
true.
good.
no, but
I
they
can see
understand
it.
your tastes. I get it. I'm sorry. Let's just have a quick recap on the score.
Okay, on the score. So,
I won.
yeah, to be fair.
Mom, I won. I did it. I finally made you proud.
Well, thank you very much, girls, for joining me today. So, if your fans and the new fans who will have watched this want to catch any more of you, tell them where they can find out.
So we're on all the different platforms. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We're at Larkin Poe. You can find us there. And we manage all of our pages because we really do value the connection that we can have with you guys. So please do come be friends with us. We'd love to hear your stories and get on board with you. And we are going to be back in December, playing some dates here in the UK, which is going to be really exciting.
With Taco Bell for me.
With Taco Bell for Millie.
Yep.
Lots of Taco Bell.
Lots of Taco Bell. And the record will be out here July 8th.
There
So
you
make
go.
sure you check it out. We appreciate it very much. This has been really fun. Thanks for
Thank you
product
very
placement.
much for joining us, girls. It's been great.
Thank you.
Woo!